Alright guys, time to make the final slide, our title slide. So here is an example of my title slide over here, the 4 elements of an effective presentation, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity by David Steckler, Highlands Middle School, 7th grade. So I'm going to show you guys how to create a slide that kind of looks like this. So the first thing that I do is I go to my slide on contrast and I duplicate it. And I'm going to take this slide and I'm going to start by changing the word contrast to my main body, which is going to be the 4 elements of an effective presentation. I'm going to start with effective presentation. So I'm going to say effective presentation. So you'll notice that this goes on multiple lines with this current font size that I have at 96. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to take the font size down just a little bit to like 80, and I'm going to stretch this out to see if I can get it to fit on one line. So after stretching this part out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the rest of this, and I'm going to either take this text box or insert myself another text box over here, and I'm going to title it the 4 elements of. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this little bullet point, and I'm going to change the font size and color over here. So maybe I'm going to change the fonts to, let's say, maybe 36, and I'm going to bold it, and I'm going to turn this maybe like, let's try light gray over here. So the 4 elements of, I'm going to try and drag this up on top of this, and what I'm going to do right now is make sure I'm using alignment to make sure that the line is aligned next to it. I'm not starting it beyond where the first one is. The most important thing is the word effective presentation, so I'm going to make sure it is within those lines, not outside but within. So I'm going to bring it a little bit in. In this case, I'm going to actually line it up, or try and line it up perfectly over here. So I'll say the 4 elements of, and then I'm going to say the word an effective presentation. And the next step is I'm going to make another text box. So I'm just going to click on the edge of this text box. If I wanted to copy this, I'm going to make sure I have those 4 lines. I'm going to do a left click and I hit Control C to copy it. And I can then paste that back in to my presentation over here. So, or at least it should let me do it. And there we go. So I copy and I paste that back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this below, and I'm going to put down below over here, and I'm going to try and line it up so it aligns nicely with the end over here with all the different elements of it, which are contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. So I'm going to drag this out so that this is all nice and neat on one line, and then I'm going to try and take this text box and line it up so this nicely ends with the N in presentation. And what I'm going to do now is this whole presentation is on making something, the information being presented effectively. So I'm going to highlight the word effectively in this case in some sort of light green that makes it kind of pop and stand out. And you can choose your own colors. You don't have to use mine. I'm just showing you how I made this slide. And then lastly, I'm going to create one more text box. I'm going to go to Insert Text Box, and I'm going to put my name, David Steckler. I'm going to put Highlands Middle School and 7th grade. So I'm going to drag this box over here. I'm going to change the font size over here to be, let's start this all as white, and let's make this maybe size 36 to start with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure this is all on one line, and then I'm going to try to line this up with the same line to make it nice and neat. So this is lined up over here with the end of the word Steckler. And I'm then going to change my name to make it have a little bit better contrast. I'm going to bold it, and I'm going to change the color over here maybe to yellow to make my name stand out. And this is kind of how you make a title slide over here. So live presentation of how I created my title slide over here in just, a couple minutes. So this is how you guys are going to make your title slide. You're welcome to use your own colors, to use your own proximity, to use your own contrast, to use your own repetition. But ultimately, we create our title slide last, and then that title slide should use a color scheme that links back into the rest of your presentation. And you'll notice that my presentation in total has nice alignments everywhere, nice neat boxes. There is good repetition that every start of the word contrast is in the same spot. The start of the letter is in the same spot for all of my slides. See how it's not even moving? The first letter is in the same spot, and all of the text has similar color schemes. So that is how to make an effective presentation using contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. See you later.